Here's one which again backs up why first dates, meet up for a drink. You know, alcohol, cup of tea, cup of coffee, something expensive and local. And if she doesn't like it, too freaking bad, because otherwise you'd be wasting your whole night, a bunch of money, and all that. And of course, another one backs up why if your girl's acting like a complete bonehead on the date, you got every reason to walk away, and this guy does. Title: Am I the a-hole that I left a first date that turned into an AA karaoke session? Now listen to this. I went on a first date this past Friday with a gal in a smallish city that I just moved to. She suggested a lounge in the city 20 minutes from where I live for the date. Fine by me. Unbeknownst to me, the city takes karaoke very seriously. Like Tokyo? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm fine with partaking in karaoke every now and then. I have not done one in several years, but that's beside the point. I show up at the lounge around 7 p.m. to meet Sarah. I then spot her chatting with someone on a laptop in the corner, and she weighs me furiously. We introduce ourselves, and she begins to introduce me to her gang of friends, roughly 20 people. And he says in parentheses, she never mentioned anything about friends being there. So they're all a bunch of friends. How are you going to have a date to get acquainted with someone, get to know someone a little bit, to see if you want to actually move on to a second date, when she has a whole bunch of her friends there, cock blockers and clam slammers that get in your way? It's not going to work. Frankly, what he should have said was that, hey, you know what, let's just do this another time, just the two of us, because it's not going to work here in karaoke. I wouldn't have gone that far, but a lot of guys would hope for a second date if she was good looking, but no, this is ridiculous. This is why you confirm someplace local, not a karaoke place. And obviously, she's not that into him if she wants to have all those people around. She's not going to ruin her Friday night for karaoke night to go see him. So just like, she probably barely even likes him. I mean, just this much. So listen to this. He says there, I ask if she would like anything to drink and ask to be polite, and she says that she is already enjoying her drink, but thanks. As I'm about to order, Sarah's female friend, who was staying next to me at the bar, asked me if I'm aware that it's a sober night for all of them, as they all know each other from AA. So I got no problem with people in AA. Great. You got a problem? Good for you. But here's the thing. Just because they're choosing not to drink, doesn't mean he can't drink. I've had friends and known people in my life that obviously don't drink for problems they had. They'd have a problem if I drank around them. They had it under control. And see already, the female friend's clam slamming him, getting in the way. Now again, I had no idea of any of this. I then ordered myself a club soda. Smack! Already you're looking submissive. Get your fucking beer if you want a beer. And frankly, you should have walked out that door because this is just a terrible idea. Although things are starting to get a bit weird, in my opinion, and I wanted to leave. Then you should have left. She obviously doesn't give a shit about you. So Sarah comes bounding back over to me, asking what I was going to sing, and suggesting a Marvin Gaye song. This was a big night that was important to her, and she was one of the organizers. A woman with a video light on her phone, who was a social media person for their karaoke night event, started taking random videos of me standing awkwardly with my club soda, nearly blinding me. I chuckled and said I wasn't sure I would be singing tonight, as I normally had at least a beer before singing karaoke. But we will see. She seemed disappointed. You don't want to sing karaoke, you don't sing karaoke. I sang karaoke one time in my life, guys, and I had a few drinks in me, and it was the most god-awful piece of crap version of Bon Jovi Living on a Prayer that the city of Boston has ever heard of karaoke, but goddammit, I had to face my fears, knock that off the bucket list, and I did it. And they cheered for my horrible singing. This was like, 8 years ago. Sarah went on to sing 3 songs in a row, some duets, some triads, with her friends. At the end of her last song, she called me by name on the mic and called me to come up and sing a song. I was not prepared for this, nor did I want to sing. Her one friend butted into me physically, asking why I was acting demonic, and why I can't partake in some good old-fashioned fun. Acting demonic? So here you go, another friend clam slamming or cock blocking you. This is why you go on a date without her friends around. Then an older man with them wearing a fisherman hat called me a buzzkill. I couldn't be in this situation anymore and quickly made an excuse to leave. Then I was parked in a red zone and went back home. It's about freaking time. Has she shown you any interest in you whatsoever in this date? No, it's almost like she invited you just to mess with you, It's a possibility that she, like, literally a shred of possibility she could like him. But even then, that's what girls do with a guy, like, asks them out, and they're like, all right, whatever, I got nothing else to do. But you know what, I want to sacrifice my night, so I'll invite him to come over to all my friends here, and maybe I'll pay attention to him or something like that. So you guys, meet up for a drink. And if she doesn't do that, obviously not that interested. Sarah texted me the next day asking if I had an antisocial disorder and if I was allergic to some good old-fashioned fun. She just keeps disrespecting you over and over, as was her friends. She also said it was totally out of line and I had spoken booze to their social media person. Oh, for God's sakes, listen to this more shaming tactics. Guess what, jackasses? There are people out there that, again, they have alcohol problems and around people that drink, it's not a problem. He can do what he wants. But she's reacting this way because this guy obviously was compliant and submissive to her. And that makes me a very clueless and emotionally unintelligent person. I told her she hadn't told me the specifics of the date, and I felt it was a bit bizarre situation. She then started rattling off tenets of AA, namely acceptance, hope, and faith, and called me insensitive and an a-hole, so am I the a-hole. No, you're not the a-hole. The only thing you're the a-hole for is that you agreed, once you got there and found out what was going on, you stuck around. You walked right out. Or you didn't make any specifics on the date, because it sounds like you were just so happy that she was going to go on a date with you that she told you a place to be. She obviously made this date, not you. This is what happens when guys don't take charge. And so just show up at this lounge. So maybe he thought he was going to meet her for a drink. And little does he know that she doesn't drink, and it's gotten so far that she is, again, in AA, which I have no problem with. Just make that clear, but just, obviously, there could be other issues. So no, he's not the a-hole here. But again, guys, let's back this up here. Women don't like rejection. They don't like being walked away from, even if she's not into this guy. As well as, first date, make sure it's a place they have a quick drink. In her case, can't have alcohol, fine. A coffee, a tea, go for a walk. Who the hell knows? Go feed the fucking ducks in the park. I don't care. But don't agree to meet up at some busy place that you can't talk, especially if her friends are there. And this is perfect example of a gal showing no interest and just stringing the guy along, probably hoping to get something out of it. But anyhow, a few comments here. I'll wrap this up. One guy says, not the a-hole. Tell her to stop taking inventory and you aren't interested in her. And bring on the downvotes, but people who are assholes when they were drinking are sometimes still assholes even when they stop. She ambushed you with 20 people on your date, ignored your boundaries, had her friends heckle and belittle you. She needs to lose her holier-than-thou mindset, block them all. Yeah. Well, even though he wants to fight back with her, just block her jackass friends. Take it as a lesson in life experience and all that, and just never do that again. And here's one. Listen to this. This guy says here, as a proud member of AA, I would never ever put someone through this. She needs to take her own inventory before judging you. She didn't practice honesty at all when setting up this date. Point out to her if the roles were reversed and you invited her to do something with you and 19 of your friends, she probably wouldn't like that. I don't know. If they were a bunch of good-looking guys, she probably wouldn't care. Also, I don't like karaoke very much. If I walked into it being a karaoke situation, I'd probably walk out unless I was previously informed so I can make a mental hit points of it. I also want to mention that AA is the only one part of recovery. She needs therapy also. This is no fashion a good way to have a first date. You might get a call later when she's doing her 9th step. I also have friends in AA, but I don't often go out with a ton of AA people because I don't like crowds. Often people early in recovery will hang out with these kind of groups to have some sort of social life. I never heard of someone ambushing a random date this way though. That time is usually specifically for people practicing recovery. Well, who knows what it was, but the point is, lesson learned. And by the way, guys, thanks for bearing with me. We got the hurricane coming in a few days here in Florida. I'm recording a bunch of videos because I won't be able to do it in a few days. So rain is on and off, so wish me luck. But anyhow, good for him for walking away eventually.